And he's now doing somersaults in Miami. There is no better deep threat in football than Tyreek Hill. I mean, there really is no argument. And now he's going to be a Dolphin, and now the Chiefs have to find a way to replace him. But hey, look, they get 2 first-round picks, 29 and 30. They had 12 picks overall. The man who you heard calling all those touchdowns, who has called all of his more than 60 touchdowns as a Chief, joins us now live on NFL Now. Mitch Holthus, a day later. How's the reaction?
What are you trying to get me to do? Cry after looking at all those highlights? You guys are playing on my emotion.
Are people crying a day later?
Well, there's a double answer to this, Andrew. One is, okay, it's only my 20. I'll be getting ready for my 29th year as the voice of this franchise. And honestly, the greatest memories have been in the last 6, and those have just coincided with Tyreek Hill's 6 years of being here. To win 6 straight AFC West titles, get the 4 AFC championship games, win a Super Bowl, get runner-up in another one. He's been phenomenal. And also some intense moments. Let's be honest. The Chiefs Kingdom have helped Tyreek, and I know he knows this, at 2 of the biggest flashpoints of his life, where this story might have been much different for him personally and professionally. But here's the deal. He's got it. He's going. Go in peace. I'll hug him when we have a reunion. About Super Bowl 54. I'll hug him whenever we play the Dolphins. The second part of this story, though, is the fact that this is also a reality of the second lap of Patrick Mahomes' career. We've seen it with Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Russ Wilson, Aaron Rodgers. When you go to that second 4 to 6 to 7 years of an uber quarterback's career, the roster has to look different. In the age of the salary cap, you have to make sometimes some difficult moves here. And yet, let's be honest here, Andrew. This is a team, the Chiefs, that have accomplished all those things I just mentioned, and now go into the 2022 draft, if not controlling the draft, a big pot stirrer. Not only is it the picks you mentioned, the Chiefs have 6 in the top 103. They have 2 firsts, 2 seconds, 2 thirds, and 2 fourths. And all of a sudden, $28 million in cap room. This is going to get interesting the next 100 days in the way this franchise operates to continue to be a challenger for a Super Bowl and continue to win in the AFC, which has gotten a lot tougher.
Yeah, especially in the West here. I find it fascinating that the Packers, who traded Davante Adams last week, and these 2 trades will always be linked, have those 2 number ones now ahead of the Chiefs' 2 number ones, who have not taken a first-round wide receiver since the great Jonathan Baldwin. You, of course, called his games as well. How many ever there were, a handful of them, after he got drafted in 2011. I want to go back to Tyreek's thinking. I get you want to be paid. And I understand the competition here between players and contracts. I understand. But in my mind, 85 cents on the Dolphins dollar and working with and staying with Mahomes and Andy Reid is worth more, even with no state income tax, than going into a fluid quarterback situation in Miami. It's going to be fascinating when Tyreek takes the podium a little bit later to hear his reasoning there.
Well, if you want to do the logic on his side or his agent Drew Rosenhaus side of the equation, is the fact that now he's the highest paid wide receiver in the league. So you have that. But we've also seen, and I wish him the best. I hope he does well. I mean, I like Tyreek. We've had some awesome discussions over the past 6 years, and some of those have been intense. They haven't all been all fun and games. But there's a reality that sets in here. Sure, for the Chiefs, you don't have the cheetah anymore. But the reality is for Tyreek, he doesn't have Patrick Mahomes anymore, nor does he not have Andy Reid anymore. And those are 2 very strong dynamics here as well that kind of plays on your point. So there's adjustments here for both parties, all parties involved here in this trade.
All right. The Chiefs, with the arms race, Mitch, that we've seen the last month in the AFC West, have they fallen behind? I mean, 4 straight AFC championship games. Is it fair to say with the offseason moves that they've fallen behind in the division?
Sometimes it's always good to answer a question with a question. Is the quarterback still here?
Which is my answer, and I say no. But
and the quarterback is the most successful start to any quarterback in NFL history. When you look at most of the metrics, including winning. I mean, in 4 years, he's got 8 playoff wins, again, 6 division titles. And the fact that when you still look at all of the main metrics that you judge a quarterback on, he's got A grade, 4.0 grade point average in the first time in his career. It's getting ready now for the second lap around his career, but he's still here. Is the head coach still here? I mean, it's a Pro Football Hall of Fame head coach who's a borderline genius and doesn't get enough credit just because he's a little bit, he's not a self-promoter. Andy's just kind of, there. But don't think he's Uncle Andy bringing potato salad to the family reunion. I've said that. The dude is ultra hot competitive. He's coming after you, and he's coming after you with an outstanding quarterback and a retooled roster. This is going to be interesting. We'll see what the Chiefs do the next 100 days. There's going to be trades. There'll be free agent pickups. There's going to be drafts. And they're in a position strategically to have a huge impact in the draft. So I will tell you, yes, I've seen the AFC West pull all the chips. They're going all in. And a lot of those moves by the three rivals in the division aren't necessarily long-term moves. They're short-term moves. I mean, let's be honest, they're not fond of seeing the Chiefs win the division 6 straight years. It's an ultra-competitive division. It has been that way since 1960 in the old American Football League. But who's going to be the first guy or gal that picks the Chiefs fourth in the AFC West? Maybe it's already happened, and I don't know. But go ahead. But I would say do so at your own peril, because the quarterback's still here, the coach is still here. There's a lot of talent still here. There'll be more talent here before the roll is called up yonder.
Schedule release in May, tentatively. I mean, it was May last year. I would argue that right now, Mitch, you could put every single AFC West game in primetime and not have anyone complain. I mean, take the 4 teams, mix and match them, whichever game you want. You could make an argument for every single one of them in primetime. Granted, that's not going to happen. There are other divisions. But regardless, it's going to be fun. Mitch Holthus, always a pleasure to have you on. Hope you get some time away during the offseason. See you in July.
Yeah, I didn't get invited to Patrick's wedding. I was going to crash it. We were going to be Aunt Edna's kids from Nacogdoches on Randy's side. But we thought better of it. But I'll just tell you this, Andrew, the Chiefs Kingdom's not going anywhere.
No.
It's going to be interesting. The best reality show on TV has just gotten more interesting, especially in the AFC West. But Let's go.
We'll see if anyone gets traded this afternoon. Thanks, Mitch.
See you, bro.